10 hidden signs your partner doesn't love you anymore. Love doesn't always end with a dramatic fight, it often fades away silently, leaving one partner in a fog of confusion. Have you ever felt something was off in your relationship but couldn't quite figure out why? You're not alone. Many relationships drift apart without either person realizing it until it's too late. The emotional bond that was once strong quietly erodes, and suddenly, you're left asking yourself, where did the love go? But what if you could spot the signs early on, before it's too late to fix things? What if the warning signs of fading love aren't big arguments or breakups, but small changes like a missed text or a half-hearted kiss? In today's video, we're diving into 10 hidden signs your partner doesn't love you anymore. These aren't the obvious red flags like cheating or constant fighting. Instead, they're the quiet, subtle shifts that can speak louder than words. Are you missing these clues that your partner's love might be slipping away? By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to spot these hidden signs and figure out if your relationship is on shaky ground. Remember, these signs don't always mean the relationship is over, but they do signal it's time for a serious conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to PSY Insight for more tips on love, relationships, and emotional well-being. Let's dive in. 1. They've stopped sharing their daily life. Remember when your partner used to tell you every little thing about their day? From the funny incident with a coworker to the stressful meeting, you were their go-to person. If that's changed, it might signal emotional distancing. When someone stops sharing the small, everyday moments, it often means they no longer see you as their primary confidant. But why would they suddenly close off? Is it intentional? Or could it be that they've found someone else to confide in? Pay attention to how often they share details about their life now. Do you notice fewer texts about their day? Or have they started giving you one-word answers when you ask how they're doing? This subtle shift can be a sign that they're pulling away emotionally. The things they once eagerly shared are now being kept to themselves, or worse, shared with someone else. What does that say about your connection? It's easy to brush this off as just being busy or stressed, but when your partner no longer includes you in the mundane parts of their life, it could mean they're seeing you as less central to their world. Does this mean they're losing interest? Or could there be a deeper issue they're not addressing? Either way, this change in communication is a signal that something is off. 2. Physical touch feels mechanical. Physical intimacy is about more than just sex, it's about the little affectionate gestures like holding hands, touching your shoulder, or sharing a hug. If those small touches have become rare or feel more like a routine, it could indicate a deeper emotional disconnect. Has your partner stopped reaching for your hand when you walk together? Do their hugs feel brief and hollow, as if they're just going through the motions? What's changed? Could it be that the emotional bond between you is weakening, causing physical distance? You may start noticing that their kisses lack the passion they once had or that they turn away when you try to cuddle. These are often subconscious actions, but they reveal a lot about the state of your relationship. Is your partner pulling away without even realizing it? Ask yourself, when was the last time their touch felt genuinely affectionate? Are they avoiding closeness? Or do they seem disconnected during intimate moments? While everyone experiences stress or distractions that can affect physical intimacy, a consistent lack of affection might be a sign that their feelings have changed. Is it time to address the emotional gap that could be widening between you two? 3. They've developed new interests that don't include you. Everyone needs space and personal hobbies, but what happens when your partner suddenly becomes engrossed in new interests that they don't want to share with you? Have they started spending more time on a new hobby or with new friends and seem reluctant to involve you? This might be a sign that they're building a life separate from you, whether they're aware of it or not. What's the reason for this sudden shift? Could it be a harmless desire for independence? Or are they seeking emotional fulfillment outside the relationship? Pay attention to how they react when you express interest in joining them in these new activities. Do they make excuses for why you can't come alone? Or worse, do they seem indifferent or even defensive about it? While having individual interests is healthy, it becomes concerning when those interests start creating a divide between you. Could they be imagining a future that no longer includes you? Are they finding emotional satisfaction in places outside the relationship? If this behavior becomes consistent, it's time to question where their priorities lie and what it means for your future together. 4. Compliments have become generic. Think back to when your partner used to compliment you. Were the compliments specific and heartfelt, or have they now become vague and routine? If "you look nice" has replaced "I love the way your eyes light up when you laugh," it might suggest they're no longer paying close attention to the unique things that make you, you. But why? Could it be that they've stopped noticing the little things? Or are they simply not as emotionally invested as before? Genuine love often manifests in recognizing and appreciating the specific qualities that make you special. Has that attention to detail disappeared? Reflect on the nature of their compliments recently. Do they feel surface level, like something they'd say to anyone? Or do they still highlight the quirks and qualities they used to love? If these personalized compliments have dwindled, it might be an indication that they're emotionally checking out. But is it a temporary phase, or a sign of something deeper? 5. They're overly interested in your schedule. At first glance, a partner who's very interested in your schedule might seem caring or supportive. But if they're frequently asking about your plans or seem overly curious about when you'll be out, it could be a sign they're looking for time alone. Are they planning around your absence rather than your presence? Why would they need so much space? Could it be they're craving independence, or is there something more going on? Notice if they seem relieved when you mention plans that don't include them. Do they encourage you to spend more time away from home, perhaps with friends or on solo activities? While a healthy relationship involves independence, this excessive interest in your schedule could signal a desire for more permanent distance. Is your partner pushing you away, subtly creating a life without you in it? What does this behavior mean for your connection, and why has it emerged now? It's worth considering if their sudden focus on your plans is more about finding time for themselves than supporting your personal life. 6. Future plans have become vague. When your partner talks about the future, do they include you in their plans? If they've started discussing upcoming events or long-term goals in vague terms, it could be a sign their feelings have changed. Does we now feel like I when they talk about the future? This subtle shift in language can reveal more than you might think. If your partner is emotionally invested in the relationship, they'll naturally include you in their vision of the future. But if they start omitting you from conversations about upcoming events or long-term goals, it might be an indication that they're unsure about your place in their life. How do they react when you bring up plans for the future, whether it's a vacation or something as big as retirement? Do they change the subject or offer non-committal responses? If your partner seems hesitant to make future plans, it's time to question whether they still see a future with you in it. What does this vagueness really mean for your relationship's longevity? 7. They've become overly agreeable. On the surface, a partner who agrees with everything you say might seem like a dream come true. But healthy relationships thrive on honest communication and a balance of opinions. If your partner has started passively agreeing with all your decisions, it might be a sign they're emotionally checking out. Why don't they engage anymore? Could it be that they're avoiding conflict, or are they simply indifferent? When someone stops offering their true thoughts and feelings, it often stems from a place of disconnection. They may agree with everything just to avoid the emotional effort of engaging. But what does this mean for your relationship? Consider how they respond to important decisions. Do they still offer input, or do they leave everything up to you? A partner who's still invested will want to be involved in decisions that affect both of you, even if it means disagreeing. If they've started deferring to you on everything, from dinner choices to major life decisions, it could signal that they're emotionally distancing themselves. Could this passive behavior indicate they're no longer interested in the relationship's future? 8. Their gifts have become impersonal. Gift giving is often a reflection of how well someone knows and cares for you. If your partner's gifts have lost their personal touch and feel more like afterthoughts, it might indicate they're not as emotionally invested as they once were. Have you noticed a shift in the thoughtfulness behind their presence? Think about the last few gifts you've received. Were they generic items that could have been given to anyone, or were they tailored to your unique tastes and desires? This change might seem minor, but it can reveal a lot about their current emotional state. Are they still paying attention to what makes you happy, or are they just going through the motions? It's not always about the material value of the gift, but the thought behind it. A personalized, thoughtful gift shows that they're still attuned to your needs and desires. If that level of attention has disappeared, it's worth questioning why. Are they emotionally checked out, or have they simply stopped putting in the effort? Could this be a sign of something deeper going wrong in the relationship? 9. They've stopped fighting. While constant arguments aren't healthy, a lack of any disagreement can also be a red flag. Have you noticed that your partner no longer challenges you or disagrees with you, even on important issues? While it might feel like a relief at first, this sudden absence of conflict can be a sign that they've emotionally disengaged. Why aren't they fighting for the relationship anymore? Healthy relationships involve working through differences and resolving conflicts. When someone stops caring enough to even argue, it often means they've given up on trying to make things better. Does this lack of conflict suggest they no longer feel invested in the relationship's success? Consider how they react when problems arise. Do they avoid discussing serious issues, or do they seem indifferent when you try to address concerns? If they're no longer willing to put in the effort to resolve conflicts, it might indicate they're emotionally checked out. But is this behavior reversible, or does it signal the beginning of the end? 10. They're overly focused on your flaws. If your partner has become hypercritical, constantly pointing out your flaws or shortcomings, it could be a sign they're emotionally distancing themselves. Have you noticed a sudden increase in nitpicking? Are they focusing more on your mistakes than celebrating your strengths? This shift in focus often happens when someone is looking for reasons to justify their fading feelings. Instead of addressing the real issues in the relationship, they might start focusing on your imperfections as a way to explain their emotional withdrawal. But why are they doing this? Could it be that they're avoiding the bigger conversation about their changing feelings? If you've noticed that your partner is more critical than usual, it's important to address the issue head-on. Is their criticism constructive, or does it feel like they're finding reasons to pull away? This change in behavior might be a sign that they're emotionally distancing themselves from the relationship. Could this hyper-focus on your flaws be their way of justifying a decision they're not ready to confront? If you've noticed these signs, it's important to address them sooner rather than later. They don't always mean the relationship is over, but they do indicate it's time for an open, honest conversation about where things stand. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more insights into relationships and emotional well-being.